Today we're gonna do a review of the North Face Recon backpack. In this video, I'm gonna take my experience of reviewing over 500 of the world's best bags, and we're gonna tear this thing apart. We're gonna talk about the pros and the cons, we're gonna pack it out. I'm gonna let you know if I think it's worth the price, and you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite sure that this is the bag for you, I'm gonna make some alternative suggestions at the end, just so you can know what's in the market and find the best bag for your needs. Okay, let's talk about the gist of the North Face Recon. And I'm excited about this because after reviewing a crap ton of bags, this could be the most iconic bag in the world. I mean, it's definitely up there. You got the Fjallravens, Nikes, Patagonias, but North Face is in the conversation, and for good reason. North Face makes epic fucking gear. They're a global brand for a reason. But sometimes with these huge brands, there's a lot of hype going on as well. So we're gonna kind of cut through the BS and see if this bag's worth the price. And good call, Margaret. Yeah, it should be noted that we actually reviewed the North Face Recon Women's Edition on our sister channel, Gear for the Girls. So if you're a lady and looking for the women's specific build for this bag, be sure to watch that video, which I'll link above. All right, let's talk about some of the top features of the standard version of this bag. We got this heritage style silhouette, which doesn't look out of place whether you're on a hike or whether you're in an urban setting. We've got two external water bottle holders, a quick access front pocket made from mesh, a couple more quick access front pockets. This one's sort of like your little admin station, a half moon opening into the main compartment, an independent tech compartment, and a harness system that I think has some pros and some cons, but you definitely want to stick around to that part because it's really important to the overall vibe of the bag. As of recording, the North Face Recon comes in 12 different color options. Now, let's talk about the bag size. It's got about 19 inches height, 12 inches width, and a fully packed out base depth of just under 8 inches. Now this bad boy is 30 liters in size, or at least it's advertised to be, but we always double check those things here at Nomads Nation. All right, so you can see the main compartment, fully packed out. So let me elevate this real fast. As you can see, we only measured the main compartment, which is coming in at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 liters, just a little bit under. Which I think, if you also add in the volume of the front pockets, which we didn't measure, and the tech compartment, you're gonna get around 30 liters overall. Maybe slightly under, just depends on how you pack the bag. Volume is a bit more of an art than it is a science. And 30 liters is kind of an interesting size because it's sort of that in between for travel and everyday carry. For a lot of people, you carry more gear in your day-to-day, so you need a bigger backpack to carry all that gear. So 30 liters is a great size for that. If you're looking for a light weekend travel bag, again, 30 liters for me is like the sweet spot for that. And don't worry, we're gonna pack out this bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. North Face claims this bag weighs 2 pounds, 9 ounces. The Recon comes in weighing 2.5 pounds on scale number 1 and 2.6 pounds on scale number 2, which is a great weight for the size. I always say around 10 liters to a pound is ideally where you want to be, so we're actually coming in at under that. This is the Recon when it's empty. This is the Recon when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. I'm 5'8", our media manager Margaret's 5'2". Now, all North Face bags are protected by their limited lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. But I'll be honest, I've never heard how well they honor that warranty, which is a really important part of having a warranty. And for all that, this bag runs around 110 USD. And if at any point during this review you're thinking about making a purchase or you want to find out more information, we highly suggest doing so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps to support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the front of the North Face Recon backpack. Now, when we talk about this section, we usually start with the aesthetic. And the North Face aesthetic has just become iconic over the years. The Recon especially. Doesn't matter what city you're in the world, if you're hopping on and off a train or a bus, you're gonna see a North Face, probably a Recon. And what they've done that's so cool is it's got this urban vibe, but it's actually quite outdoorsy at the same time. And that extends not just to the aesthetics, but the functionality of the bag as well, which we're gonna start diving into right now. Starting with the exterior fabric. Now, the fabric might vary depending on the color, but this version is a 210D recycled nylon ripstop. And if you really look closely, you can see this square-like grid on the fabric, and that's the ripstop, which just means it's reinforced stitching, so if there's a tear, the rip will stop. And 210 is a really cool choice because it's such a light fabric. And I really like that choice. And honestly though, you see this a lot from heritage bags. And like, just to kind of rant about like this channel and bags in general, if you're new to this channel and you're just looking for like, you know, a good bag, you might be like surprised to find out there's an entire subculture of people like me who are obsessed with bags. But not like purses and like Louis Vuitton bags. I'm talking like hardcore technical backpacks that just elevate your efficiency for everyday carry, travel, and everything in between. Now, a lot of these bags use super thick materials. Like think the Air, anything by Air. They're one of the best backpack brands in the world, but they use a 1680D Cordura ballistic nylon, which is unbelievably premium and is so abrasion resistant, but it's heavy. In contrast, this North Face, it just feels light and malleable, which obviously makes the bag lighter weight, but also enables you to pack a bit more stuff as the fabric just kind of like molds to the shape of whatever's in the bag. Just a little backpack nerdery for you there. So ultimately with the fabric, it's not gonna be the most weather resistant option out there. It does have a non-PFC durable water repellent finish, which is a good start, but that will wear off over time. One thing that's a deal breaker for a lot of people with brands like North Face is their loud as branding. I mean, that is, you know, that's screaming at you. The North Face! It's like using like a hardcore band or something. Chill, dude. Now from there, let's talk about, you know, all the features that we got in the front. Starting with right here, we have this daisy chain setup, which are basically external lash points. So you can clip things onto the outside of your bag. So if you carry your sunglasses or maybe a little hand sanitizer, or you wanna carry something, you know, like a bike helmet on the outside of your bag, these lash points give you that option. Something I don't personally use, but something I will use the living crap out of is this front mesh pocket right here, which I'm a huge fan of. Not just this mesh pocket, but really this style of pocket on any bag. I love it for the ease of access. I love for the material. I swear it's very stretchy and easy to see. But on the flip side, a pocket like this, while it might be nice to throw, you know, your phone in there, just kind of grab it real quick or whatever you want to put in there, it's not gonna be the most secure location from both weather and or potential theft. Something to keep in mind. But for me, it's a really good spot for like a wet umbrella. I live in Hong Kong. It is monsoon season right now. You're busting your umbrella out like 10 times a day, right? So when you have that wet umbrella, this mesh can handle that moisture very well, but honestly, it's a very versatile pocket. You can fit so much stuff in there. Now, let's talk about the next pocket right above it, which utilizes this zipper. We have a pretty nice, I wouldn't say pretty nice. I'd say at the price point it works, but it's a microfiber fabric. And this is basically like a fabric that you might get like with a pair of glasses to help polish the glasses, because microfiber has anti-scratch properties, just really soft and fuzzy, which makes me think, yeah, we should go ahead and throw our shades in there. It's quite a large pocket, so you could fit other things in there, like your iPhone 13. The pocket extends this entire area right here. And actually, because of its size and protective qualities, I think it's a good spot for your over-the-head headphones. Definitely is. That's what we're sticking there. Final answer. Those are the Sony XMH5s in case you're curious. Now, last pocket is going to be above that pocket, which is here, the admin compartment. Now notice, I'm having a hard time accessing it because whatever's in this pocket is going to potentially infiltrate or compromise, or whatever word you want to put there, your ability to open this pocket. So we're gonna take the headphones out for now so you can get a better visual, and voila! We have a back sleeve, zippered pocket here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smaller pockets, and that's it. This is a great compartment for anybody who likes a crap ton of organization. Let me show you what it looks like when it's packed out. So here we got a bunch of EDC stuff. It's a bit smaller in nature. These are all things that you want to organize in this pocket. So put a notebook in the sleeve right there. The sleeve has a bit of padding, so you can also throw a tablet in there if you want, but the padding doesn't really extend to the back of it. A little bit, like there's definitely some foam going on, but not enough to give it structure and or like a ton of protection. So it's not the ideal spot for a tablet. In the zippered pocket, I'm gonna throw just like med stuff, gum, Tylenol, chapstick. This pocket, also another great potential location for your sunglasses. Potentially a bit quicker access as well, depending on where you're trying to access the bag from. Wallet, small one from Harbor London, squeezes in there. A couple of pens there. And for these pockets, a good spot for your portable battery, AirPods, and you can see, dude, we're rocking and rolling. So again, a lot of organization. That lack of structure does mean that the pocket's sort of collapsing into itself a little bit. And this is where you're gonna see like some higher priced, more boutique bag brands, the Airs, the Evergoods, sometimes even the Bellroys, right? They kind of do admin pockets like this, but a bit better as to where they're creating structure for use cases that are just a little bit more thoughtful than your typical North Face does. Having said that though, if you're not really a fussy person, you just want, something that gets the job done, this admin compartment definitely gets the job done. I think that's it for the front. Let's go ahead and transition now and talk about the middle of the North Face Recon backpack. Now, starting from the bottom, and now we here, and you can see we got these external lash points, which are intended again to carry things externally on the bottom of the bag, which could be a great spot for, a jacket, maybe a bigger umbrella, tripod, yoga mat if you want to get crazy with it. I think though it is a good spot for a larger down jacket, especially on those winter days. If you're traveling with this guy, you got the jacket on, the bag's fully packed out. You want to take it off, you don't want to carry it, you can just go ahead and slide it under there and tighten it into place. And what you got here, you also got on the side with these bad boys, which again act as external carry points. But on the sides, these also act as compression straps. You can go ahead and tighten these bad boys and therefore reduce the profile of the bag. This is great if you're traveling on a budget airline and you have to reduce the depth of the bag to fit in that little bin, or if you're using the bag and you just don't like it having a larger profile, you want to kind of cinch it down a little bit so you can kind of glide through the city a little bit faster. And they can also help secure your water bottle, and we're gonna test out these water bottles in the bag once it's fully packed out in just a second. Now, to get into the main compartment, we have this like half zip opening. It's like a half zip panel loader, which has its own pros and cons. On the con side, there is a limitation in regards to your access. And there's a lot of modern boutique bag brands that are making EDCs, or let's say bags this size that could do full clamshell opening. Great example being the Able Carry Max EDC, which is near the same size. It's 26 liters, but you get that full kind of opening every time you want to get in the main compartment. This, on the other hand, you're a little bit limited, but on an everyday carry backpack, it's not something that really bothers me too much. What about you? On a bag this size, do you prefer that clamshell style opening, or are you cool doing the half zip action? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And now, in contrast to that organized front compartment, you'll notice in the main compartment, we've got literally nothing. No pockets, no organization, literally nothing. Let's go ahead and pack it out. Oh, before I do though, let's talk about the zippers, which, although we're at a decent price point of 109 USD, the North Face is using YKK zippers. YKK uses the best zippers in the game, so they're much less likely to break on you. And these zipper pullers, big fan of for their functionality. I don't love the look of them. They're kind of I don't know, Team X Blades, or I don't know why I thought of that, but that's the vibe that I get. But they're one of the few zipper pullers you can literally hold the bag from. I think it's only these style of zipper pullers that I've seen that allow you to do this. And this is really great when you are wearing the bag and you just it's fumbling around. It just gives you a little bit better access than you would think. They really come in handy, although I don't love the look of them, but they are quite functional. Now you can see right here, I got a typical travel setup. Week's worth of clothes, week's worth of underwear and socks, tech pouch, bathroom pouch, and some shoes. I don't think it's all gonna fit, but only one way to find out. Throw the big old packing cube on the bottom. Remember, we got 25 liters of space in this main compartment. And depending on how these are packed out will depend on how much stuff you can fit in the main compartment, but I think we can get both these packing cubes down there. Absolutely. This again is where that thinner material, that 210 ripstop is really nice, because if it was a thicker material, it would have been really hard to have utilized that extra space. We're gonna do our bathroom dop kit, tech pouch, shoes. Ain't gonna make this trip. Sorry guys. You can see we got a little bit of space in the top, so I'm gonna use a hard drive and a rain cover. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our 30 liters. And you can see what's now happening in the front compartment. It's very well designed as to where, even though the main compartment is fully packed out, this isn't bulging all over the place. And now we have some structure to actually access our things much nicer. So I do think this is actually a really nice, no fuss travel bag. Minus one caveat, we'll talk about that in the next chapter. But first, we gotta talk about the water bottle holders, which I always forget to mention, they're not just for water bottles, right? As you can see here, when I was walking around outside testing the bag, it's great for umbrellas. I also love throwing a quick snack in these pockets. You get a Kind bar, protein bar from 7-Eleven, swing the bag around, throw it in there. But for a lot of people out there, these are for your water bottles. 24-ounce Columbia, you can see fits in pretty well. I'll be honest, a little bit tighter than I thought it was gonna be. You can see for the water bottle holder, we have some mesh right here, which gives the pocket some expansion. And the height, we got a decent amount of height, over 8 inches, depth of 8 inches as well. It's just the material being used. This is like a polycarbonate finish nylon, and it's really, really thick and tight. And it's kind of constricting the ability to get a big water bottle in there. Now, don't get me wrong, we got the 24-ouncer in there, but this 1 liter Yeti, I don't think it's gonna fit very well. Okay, it's not the best water bottle holder situation my eyes ever done seen, but we do have one thing to help with that, is where you have these compression straps we talked about earlier, and you can utilize them to to cinch the water bottle down, which then means you can pass the upside down test. Scared me. That was a genuine scream. We're gonna publish text really to keep it vulnerable and real on the Nomads Nation YouTube channel. So it sort of passed the upside down test, but more or less these compression straps really do help. They can be a little annoying, they're always kind of in the way, they're non-removable, but functionally speaking, they can help with securing whatever's in those pockets. Last note in the middle, we got this top handle. It's fine, and I'm gonna rant about this at the end of the video. This is where you start seeing the separation between a $100 bag and like a $250 bag. And I know for a lot of people, like that is a tough bullet to bite, paying almost 300 USD for a backpack, but the trade-offs in functionality are really there. I mean, I've been using this backpack as my EDC for the past few days, and I'm used to like rocking like $300 bags in my EDC, and like the noticeable, well, the functional differences are just very noticeable. I'm gonna rant on that in a second. But if you're like, no, I want you to rant about that now, tell me more, and you're really enjoying this review, I gotta tell you, you might be a bit of a bag nerd, or at the very least, a gearhead. And here at Nomads Nation, that's who we serve, is the bag nerd gearhead community who love EDC and travel. And if that sounds like you, I wanna tell you that we don't just do YouTube reviews, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, you can look at me as like your reporter in the field, where I'm bringing you the best deals, the newest releases, the brands that you never heard of, but like that can like transform the way that you carry and the way that you move. Plus you get access to our exclusive giveaways and discount codes and just, you know, everything in the world of gear, we cover it. So if you wanna keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible industry, be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. I hope to see you in your inbox. Okay, let's talk about the back of the North Face Recon backpack. Starting with the tech compartment. We got the same zipper pullers, both of which can be not locked, but like you can do one of these with it, right? You got this lash point right here, just kind of creating a little bit of a theft deterrent system, which can create a little extra peace of mind when you're on those, you know, extra crowded trains. Now there's not a lot going on in this laptop sleeve, which has pros and cons. On the pro side, I think it's gonna fit a 17-incher. This is our 17-inch Asus VivoBook, and you can see absolutely zip closed. So quite a versatile bag in terms of the size laptop it can carry. But if you're a super techie person, yeah, this is not gonna be like the best laptop backpack. Reason being, if you carry a smaller laptop, it's gonna kind of get lost in there a little bit. But also the false bottom situation, not the best. Basically, this laptop compartment goes all the way down to the bottom of the bag, which means if you drop the bag, you can kind of hear like the laptop is interacting with the desk. And we don't like our laptop interacting with hard surfaces like desks, especially when you accidentally drop the bag. Ouch! Don't worry, this laptop doesn't work. It's merely a prop. I do think that there's a decent amount of padding on the back of the bag. It's a decent laptop holder. It's not gonna like automatically smash your laptop, but you know, again, not the cream of the crop in regards to tech protection. But if you like your laptop sleeve to also double up as a hydration station, you've got the Velcro thing right here to secure your bladder, and you can go ahead and pop the hose through there. Not my cup of tea, but if that's you, be smitten to know this bag can do it all. Or can it? Let's talk about whether or not the Recon can actually keep you comfortable. Because I think that it can and it can't, as we're moving on to the back. Also, before we do, we should note there's no luggage pass-through on this back panel. Luggage pass-through holders are great, because if you want to pair your backpack with a suitcase, you can just slide it onto the handle. And a lot of the bags that we review here on Nomads Nation can do that, especially they can stand upright, super easy to access. No option here, so if you're pairing this with the suitcase, you're always gonna be carrying this on your shoulder, and it's just nice to have that relief every now and then. But in all fairness to North Face, the female version of the Recon doesn't have that pass-through either. Oh, good call, Margaret. Again, coming through clutch. Here's a really cheap luggage pass-through holder, but at least, you know, it gets the job done where you can slide it on the suitcase and, you know, it's a better travel experience. But what this bag does do well is ventilation, I think, and just overall back panel comfort. As you can see, we got the 6-pack at the top. You're shredded, dude. This dude never skips core day. I hate core day. Ab workouts are the worst. I just want to throw up just thinking about it. But yeah, those are like Jesus abs right there. And what's great about, you know, a 6-pack back there, plus all these cuts at the bottom, is what North Face is advertising right here as Flex Vent, but in essence, just a lot of ventilation, right? All these little cuts inspire airflow, and like, it's not gonna keep your back like a cool ventilated fridge on a hot summer day, but it will help. And it also creates a nice amount of padding to give you extra comfort. I find the back panel to be a really nice wear. I unfortunately can't say the same about the shoulder straps, but I will say with a caveat, like, it's okay at the price point. You can see right here as I bust out my tools, we're okay on the width. We're at a little over 2 inches, but it's really the depth that's gonna kill some of your shoulders out there. As you can see here, we're dealing with like less than a centimeter of depth, and the material being used a little bit more dense, which in a lot of people's experience in like this bag nerdy community, just not that comfortable in comparison to the alternatives, which we'll talk about in just a minute. On the good side, we have a lot of motion here because of a really nice design choice where the shoulder strap is connected by this nylon webbing. So you can see that this kind of flows freely, a bit better with your body. But at the end of the day, while I'm okay with the comfort for the price point, 100 USD for a bag and shoulder straps like this is common, it's definitely not the most comfortable bag that you can buy. There's no doubt about that. But a few things that'll help with comfort. We've got a sternum strap with a whistle. Gotta love a sternum strap that's got a whistle, am I right? And oh my God, hey little guy. I guess the whistle must have called him over. This is No Dangle Dan. Actually, I don't know what his name is. I just called him out. We still haven't named him yet. But in essence, he is here to protest this and this going on, which is very common on bags of this price point, but also very annoying just in general. We call this dangle. It's just excess nylon webbing. And it's one of those things that like when you're just like, walking and this is in your way and this is all, it's just really annoying. And that's why he's protesting it. And he ain't gonna stop, ever. Keep up the good work, little guy. Now, one final note is we have an included hip belt at the bottom as well, which is kind of annoying because it's really hard to take off and to put back on. I wish that there was an easy way to unclip it. But again, if you're traveling with this bag, you got a heavy load, this will help take some of the pressure off your back. Now, it's important to note that not everybody is going to agree with my assessment of the comfort of the bag, and a lot of people have worn a North Face Recon in their day, so if you want to hear anybody else's perspectives on this bag or any other bags, always be sure to ask in the comments below or in the NN Subreddit, where we got a huge community of some of the world's biggest gearheads and bag nerds. Hopefully someone can help you there. Let's wrap this up by talking about the overall pros and the cons of the North Face Recon. Pro number one, I actually think you're getting some pretty great value at a pretty good price point. Pro number two, it's got a super lightweight build. And pro number three is just gonna be the versatility of this bag, especially with all the external carry options. But every bag has cons. Here's a few from my perspective. Con number one is going to be the average comfort of the shoulder straps. Con number two is going to be the average tech protection. And con number three is, for some people, the lack of a luggage pass-through holder will be a deal breaker. But a reminder, if you've weighed the pros and the cons and you're thinking about making a purchase or you want to find out more information, we do request doing so with the first link in the description. That's where you can just get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's what it'll be. But if you're not quite sold, let's talk about some of the alternative recommendations that I teased earlier in the video. And we're gonna do this one a little bit differently than I do other alternatives, because this is a really mainstream, for lack of a better word, bag. So if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you're just looking for a bag and you didn't even know this whole, like I said, this bag nerd subculture even existed. So if that's the case and you really are interested in learning more about this incredible industry and some of the coolest bags on the market, I recommend watching our Nomads Nation leaderboard video. We're gonna link that above, and basically that's where we get the whole Nomads Nation squad to talk about our favorite bags and our favorite distinct bag categories. I'm talking everyday carry bags, travel bags, slings. I even throw a couple duffel picks and messenger picks in there. It's just a great video to watch to introduce yourself into the community and to also get an idea what the best options on the market are. Because like I said, while it might seem a little crazy to spend $200, $300 on a backpack, you're really only doubling the price to 10x the functionality. Like, as a side story, like I just got into watches, right? And this one is my first expensive watch that I ever bought. It's like 1,000 USD, right? I know it's a lot. I splurged. I'm 36. I don't have any kids. Sue me. But before that, I bought $100 watches. And I'll be honest, I can't tell the difference of this thing on my wrist versus the other. Now, when I like really analyze it, the automatic movement and the German heritage, right? All these different things are why you buy a nice watch. But close my eyes, I can't tell the difference between this one and my $100 watch. But I guarantee you, if you close your eyes between the North Face Recon, which is a fine bag, versus like a bag by Evergoods or Air, you will really feel that difference very quickly. So let me give you a couple of alternatives for a few different use cases. Use case number one is you're in the market for a bag like this, but your budget is set around 100 USD. If that's the case, I recommend checking out TomTok. And especially if you're looking for a travel bag, you should check out the T67. TomTok as a brand is amazing because most of their bags are around the 100 USD mark, but they know what they're doing in terms of more comfort, more tech protection, And just, I don't know, you can tell they're kind of obsessed with carry. Like North Face has a lot of things, not just backpacks. TomTalk's just killing it with bags right now. And the T67 is one of the better budget travel bags I've reviewed in a while. Now, my second alternative recommendation is going to be the Able Carry Max EDC. This is a really good pick for you if I'm getting you kind of excited about this world of incredible carry brands, and you don't mind dropping a bit of money on a bag. Able Carry is cool because, like North Face, they can work on a trail or in the city. It's gonna come in at a heavier weight, but in terms of comfort, access, tech protection, and just overall wowness, they're one of the best brands out there, and the Max EDC is really hard to beat. There's so many bags that I can recommend right now, so again, if you wanna get an idea what's in the market, be sure to watch the leaderboard video, but if I'm close with these two, just go ahead and watch these videos right here. In the meantime, as a reminder, we always appreciate if you use our affiliate links. It helps support the channel. And if you got any questions, you can let us know in the comments or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.